We have a very special guest here. Two very special guests. Albert Rivera from Ciudadanos, welcome. Maria Benjumea, President. I said two very special guests. Well, three very special guests. Welcome. Please, we're gonna take a seat. We're gonna start the last killer panel of the day. According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, the global travel and tourism sector is growing at an incredibly fast rate, accounting to $7 trillion. I repeat, $7 trillion. Can you hear me, everybody? There's a lot of money here. And it's expected to grow even more. Information technologies have opened a vast array of opportunities for this industry. Well, talking about opportunities in this sector, our next panel moderator is an expert. A former Olympic sportsman, he's leading a revolution in the tourist sector worldwide. His roommate hotels are targeting the figure of 4,000 rooms by 2019. His B-Made hotels is a total disruptive idea based on a unique apartment service by a hotel. The word no doesn't exist within his business. His clients are invited to make love and not just have a quickie. He hates the word success and failure and reminds us to just get up again and keep fighting. His life motto is smile and enjoy the ride. And he does have a lovely smile. He just doesn't want a piece of cake. He wants it all. Well, he's out there to get it, as he has received the Medal for Tourist Merit in Innovation, which is something very dear to him. Please, let's all welcome the absolutely gorgeous Quique Sarasola.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, panelists, for coming. I'm going to give you a few data before we keep on. Tourism is the first industry in e-commerce in Europe. It creates more than 2.5 million jobs. The travel industry moves 146 billion euros a year. And 7 out of 10 users use e-commerce for traveling and buying trips. In the future, 50% of the reservations are going to be online, and 30% of them are going to be mobile. How many of you have reserved a hotel in the last 8 months through the internet, through the e-commerce? Raise your hand. Incredible. How many of you have reserved a taxi in the last month? Incredible. In the last 24 hours, how many of you have used Grindr or Tinder? Okay, I don't want to know. It's a joke, it's a joke, it's a joke. I'm not allowed to be on Grindr or Tinder, or Tinder, however you call it. I'll give you my number if you want it later. But anyways, before we go on, and it's a very interesting panel because their companies are fantastic, I'm going to let them introduce themselves, 2-minute presentation of yourself and of your company. You start.
Perfect. I'm Javier Hernandez. I'm the head of e-commerce and marketing of Iberia Express. I will be really, really fast. We are the low-cost company from IAG Group. We share projects and strategies with Iberia, British Airways, Aer Lingus. But we are really focused on innovation projects, and we are a .com company. This is, I think, the main the focus and the main resume of our company. And as you can see, all the people in our company are millennials like me. Then it's good enough for me.
And I have to say, Iberia Express is from Iberia Group, but has nothing to do with it. And thanks to this gentleman, the company has the best user-client experience you can find in the market. His applications, we're going to talk about them later, are absolutely fabulous. Okay, now I want to talk to Carlos.
Yeah, I'm Carlos Rodriguez Maribona, former venture capitalist, now the COO of Minube. We're a social travel platform, more than 10 million monthly unique users. We basically are helping millions of travelers to find their next destination, and then, of course, encourage them to share all their trip with our community.
And what he does, especially for me, what the best thing about Minube is it takes you on the trip before, during, and after. Don't forget, that's the future, gentlemen. Experience. Before, during, and after. And that's what Minube has really hit it on straight on. Pau, tell us about you.
Hi, I'm Pau Sendra, founder of Winabox. I've worked in the airline sector before, and someday we decided to do something with it because there is a lot to innovate, and we decided to create a way of traveling very easy, very simple, to a surprise destination. So that's why I'm here. Winabox is a weekend travel trip, which is at 150 euros in August to a surprise destination. It's like you have a list of 12 destinations, and 2 days before of the departure, you discover to which one you are flying to.
So imagine, you say, okay, I don't want to go to Paris, I don't want to go to London, but I would like to go to Warsaw, to Lisbon, or to Barcelona. So you don't know where you're going to the airport in the morning. It costs you 150 euros, and when you get to the airport, surprise, it takes you somewhere for 150 euros. So what he's done is really think outside the box. He has taken the last-minute reservation, the last-minute traveling, and he's given it another twist. So fantastic for all of you. I love your companies. Now I'm going to ask you, all of you, a question. How has your company revolutionized the travel industry today? How do you think it's done it?
Well, from the airline company, you know that our main or the company that leads all the sector, it's a low-cost company. That always, when you are a low-cost company in this kind of sector, you have to think that is think out of the box. You know that Ryanair right now is the leader company of this sector. Then this is based on another thing to do the things. But in my opinion, the things start to change. The people also are starting to change right now. And obviously from our point of view, from Iberia Express, we are always thinking what is the next regarding the people that are using right now our company. From right now, it's the people, the millennials that I talked before, start to do the shops by mobile. Then we have to think, first of all, in mobile, not in another thing. All the people that are buying right now, the mobile, you have to adopt this kind of device. You are not used to buying this device. But the people that are coming from new generation are thinking in this kind of things. And from our point of view, we are doing a lot of things related to mobile. For example, we are the first company in Europe that use free platform entertainment on board, that you can use your smartphone to watch movies, to read the magazines. And
without Wi-Fi?
It's a kind of Wi-Fi, but it's not open to outside. It's only, you can use only internally. But it's faster, obviously, than Wi-Fi with connection to the rest of the world. You can't send WhatsApp, but you can read the El País or
So you can
whatever.
read your newspaper, you download it before
Exactly.
you get on the plane,
Yeah.
and then on the plane you can have all these amenities, movies, newspapers.
Exactly. Then you can consume, for example, you can watch Red Bull House or read in El Mundo or whatever you want to read. Then we think that the people don't need another screen on the front of the face for 2 hours and a half, because they have their own screen. Then all the people are carrying the smartphone, and then you know exactly how your smartphone works. You don't need to learn how to this kind of system that obviously you need minutes, usually are easy to use, but you need some minutes to explore. Then we are thinking in this kind of way to improve the sector.
You're thinking as a client.
Yeah.
You're your first client, no?
Yeah.
I'm always fed up of talking to other hoteliers in Spain, and I asked many of them, which have very many hotels, I said, have you slept in your hotel? And they say, no, I go to my house. And I go, great, we start very well. If that's the way you think about your clients.
Yeah.
But anyways.
We used to travel on our company, yeah, and we used to travel like another passenger. We don't use privilege like business or whatever, because we want to see it. I take pictures of my team, please remove these stickers because it's not useful, or this kind of things. Because if you think like a customer, you can feel the experience. If you feel like a marketing manager, you never feel this kind of experience.
I agree totally. Carlos, tell us about you.
Yeah, you explained it very well earlier. In Minube, we're trying to be with the traveler before, during, and after the trip. But when you think of before the trip itself, you used to think about the booking, finding a hotel, finding a flight. But we think that there's a couple of steps before where we try to be useful. A trip starts when something pops up in your head and you say, hey, this weekend I want to go somewhere. This month I want to visit, I don't know what. And we want to be in the where, right? Where to travel next. How are we doing that? We want to do a personalized discovery for every traveler. So based on your past trips, because you, of course, have shared your reviews of hotels, you've shared your pictures of your last trips. We're able to analyze all that information, put it all together, and recommend you your next destination, right? And we're able to analyze everything in the picture, so it's not the same for us, a person that goes to Barcelona to see monuments, than the one that goes to see sports, and the one that goes for gastronomy. So we're able to identify all that and categorize you and tell you, see, if you like gastronomy, because I know that in your past 3 trips you've done this, your next destination should be this one, right? And that's how we're trying to disrupt a little bit, right? There's no one else telling you where to travel based on what you've done in the past.
Before. Fantastic. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I think that we are very aligned with Carlos because actually we come from a time where the traveler had a lot of information on internet to choose the next trip. So you had thousands of meta searches, a lot of websites to compare, a lot of reviews. That's too much information today. So I think that the sector is going to what we are doing today. That's simplifying things. So in Winabox, the people just look at a list of 12 destinations and they make the reservation and they don't have any idea where they are going up to 2 days before of the departure. So this way we make a single product for a single type of customer, solving a single type of need. That's this kind of simplicity, this kind of traveling, recovering this experience of adventure, this experience of almost
fun.
going, yeah.
Of having fun.
A lot of fun, almost going to the airport and flying no matter what.
It's fantastic. It's the Nomad, it's the autostop before. No, it's a little bit better. Tell me something, Pau. What are the opportunities for Winabox in mobile?
Yeah, actually, we don't have the app yet, but because we choose to be a web app for the moment, because it allows you to run a lot, to try a lot of new things in a short period of time. So for us, we have the luck that we have a lot of data from the customer because of the era that we have now, and we need to iterate a lot based on what the customer actually needs for the product. So we decided to have a website that works fine, that's designed for the mobile first. So this way we can add a lot of changes constantly without having to wait to upload the new version. But
isn't it fantastic to hear 3 entrepreneurs thinking about the client and not talking about RevPAR, the money, how much they're making? It's fantastic to see. That's the future, gentlemen. Thinking about the client and putting yourself in the client's shoes. I wanted to ask you, Carlos. They told me that you have a fantastic relation with Apple.
Yeah.
Can you get me an Apple 7?
No, I don't have one.
Me neither.
I don't have one. No, yeah, we do one, but also with Google.
Is that good or bad?
I think it's good. We try to be very close to them. We try to follow their guidelines. I mean, at the end, we're a mobile well, we consider ourselves a mobile company mostly, even though Minube was born as a purely web model. But it's good, I think. I mean, they control. We have to understand that Apple and Google control the app business, and I think being next to the ones that control it is very good. And actually, they promote us.
You're one of their best partners here. No, they're
backing
you up.
We're in the editor's choice of Google. We're the only Spanish company in the editor's choice of Google globally. I mean, at the end, we give them something, they give us something in return. So
but I mean, for the rest of us who are not in that situation, did you do something special to be in that position, or they came to you?
No, we speak with them continuously and tell them, see, where do you think we should be going? What kind of design are you promoting? What kind of, for example, with Apple, they say, see, we're launching iMessage inside the apps or interacting with iMessage with the apps. Why don't you develop something for us to show it to everyone? And in exchange, they promote us. So at the end, it's a win-win for both.
It is a win-win, for sure. I wanted to talk to, for you, Gonzalo, Javier, I'm sorry. What do you think is the future of mobile in Iberia Express? Is that you're going to really go into that, or you're thinking about something?
No, obviously we are thinking in mobile. We are always thinking in mobile. For example, I want to share with you some figures. 2 years ago, only 2% of all the reservations are made it in a mobile. Right now, we have a 12%.
From 2 to 12 in how many
years?
years?
In 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, only 2 years.
And you expect it to grow in that
rhythm? Yeah, sure, completely sure. Because right now we have 1 every 3 visits we receive by mobile. But obviously you want, when you are reserving a ticket to a flight, to taking a flight, you have to take the decision with more people, maybe with your wife or your couple or whatever. And obviously you don't feel also comfortable putting your credit card data or or all your personal data in a mobile. You feel more comfortable in your house with the desktop, because also if you have some typo in your name, you maybe can have problems in the check-in or whatever. Then the people still doesn't feel comfortable doing the reservation in the mobile. But in our opinion, right now, one every eight people that are doing the reservation by mobile is a good number, and we expect to get one every 3 in 2 years. Why? Because as I told you before, the people that are coming from new generation have the mobile really is natural. They don't need an adaptation progress. They are using the mobile for all the things, and obviously the mobile will is always with you. I read something the last week about the figures. The 3% of the population sleep with their smartphone in the hand.
It's pathetic.
It's
terrible.
But I suppose that right now it's 3%, but in a few years...
You lose a hand.
Yeah, maybe you put it close to your brain, but this is the kind of the figures that we will come in with the future.
Tell me something. In your case, for example, I get very upset when they start bombarding me with selling, the platforms that really just want to sell, Groupons or things like that really become annoying. Where do you think it's the line between a selling platform and a customer service?
Yeah, it's in my opinion, it will arrive with the big data. It's obviously another trend thing that all the people are talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, because the big data, we will tell you exactly with the predicted models and this kind of things, what the people really need and what is the perfect moment. For example, if you are living in London, if I will send you an offer to London, I am doing a completely mistake, but if I send you 3 times or 4 times every day, I have a really problem. Then with big data, I think that we will know better the customer, and we will know exactly how many messages we have to send to every customer, and not only how many, also the content of the message. That is really important.
Mm-hmm. Carlos, and you, how important is mobile in your company?
Well, we're completely focused on mobile right now.
Completely focused on mobile.
I mean,
and have you also seen these incredible growths?
Yeah, in terms of usage, definitely. I mean, I would say 65% of all our traffic is mobile.
65?
Yeah.
Wow, that's an incredible.
And, well, in terms of revenue, a little bit less, 45% or so, because, there's still some barriers in terms of transactioning in mobile. But we're completely focused there, and there's a reason for that. I mean, at the end, for the before and the trip, it may make sense not only using a mobile, you can also use desktop, but for sure during the trip you don't have your desktop, so you're using your mobile, and you can have Minube app there to find what to do, what to discover wherever you are. And there's a big advantage for us in the post trip, because at the end of the day nowadays a lot of people, unless you are a photo geek, you don't bring a camera with you to most of your trips. You take pictures with your mobile. And at the end, for us, that's a super advantage, because we have all the information and moving that from your picture roll to Minube app is super easy. So we're able to get a lot of content out of that, and a lot of data, of course.
Pau.
Yeah. Well, from that, I think that it's a completely game changer for the in-travel experience, because we are also focused on mobile. For next year, we are improving a lot, for example, the guides that we provide for the destination for our customers, and the app can completely change that, because you have that offline, you have all the information you need every time, everywhere. I think that mobile, the mobile itself, it's the only thing that if you left in home, you will come back for it. So I think it's very, very interesting to develop especially in the part inside the trip.
So all of you can think the new customers are going to come, the millennials, like you think in Iberia Express, are going to be the millennials that are going to come with a mobile in their hand, and everything is going to be in mobile. Yes. What new platforms have you seen is going to change the travel industry, according to you, who are in that business? Do you think any new platforms that you say, my God, this is the future, this is where we have to start leading or looking at?
Well, in my opinion, personally, I have one thing that doesn't be the future. We are not moving from this way. I will tell you something that we are thinking and that will happen. But we don't believe in wearables. I don't believe in wearables. Only 2% of the wearables are connected to internet.
Only 2% are connected to internet.
I don't know if somebody here use iWatch or whatever, these kind of things. And obviously not the people are thinking in buying something or using only to get a smart SIM in the mobile and nothing more.
I think we've all bought them and left them at home, no?
Yeah,
Many of
it's
us.
something trendy. Okay, it looks it's cool. You have a really nice watch or maybe a cool bracelet or a cool glasses, but I think that it's not a thing that we will be really interested in. Why? Because in my opinion, you have a screen in your pocket, and obviously all your life are full of screens. Then why you have to see the board gate in a big screen when you have your mobile in your pocket? You only have to check your mobile, and you have all the information. Then all the people are thinking to put a screen in all the places to watch advertisement, to watch the boarding gate or whatever, all the information. You have all the things in your pocket, and why we need also another screen at home? I'm pretty sure that the future will be to have one brain, who can explain you, one electronic brain with one screen that you can put yourself.
And any platforms that you think are interesting that are coming? Airbnb came, Booking, something interesting in the tourism world, in the travel industry. You have to think that travel industry and tourism is the first industry. 12% of economy worldwide is the tourism industry. So all these new apps around tourism are the future. It's where more money is going to be made and there's less innovation. So what do you think is coming? Do you see anything?
I don't know exactly, because for one side, you have a lot of big players, Booking.com or Skyscanner or this kind of meta searchers that start big and right now are bigger. But in other way, and in the opposite side, there's a lot of small companies that, Winabox, for example, that have thinking out of the box that give you also different opportunities. I think that right now, I can tell you that the things are changing. But I don't know exactly what will be the future relating to this kind of
to the platforms. Do
you
have any idea, Carlos or Pau, of what new trends you see in the industry that would say, my God, this is a new trend that is coming? Yeah. Do you see anything?
Yeah. Well, actually, first of all, following what Javier was saying about wearables, I don't have an iPhone 7, but I have plenty of iWatches that Apple gives us to try new things.
Get me an iPhone 7, please.
I won't get that. I'll get you an iWatch, old iWatch, actually. No, yeah, there's one thing I see. Well, I see two things mainly. First of all, it's related to augmented reality and virtual reality.
Virtual reality is...
Yeah. And augmented reality in terms of we're a platform that is trying to help people discover their next destination, right? So I don't think that's going to substitute traveling, because traveling gives you many more things. But that's going to help a lot in the destination discovery. I mean, if I'm able to see what other people has experienced during their trip, I mean, I can see exactly inside my glasses a perfect video or whatever someone has filmed in my house. I can decide, I have to go to this place because this beach is wonderful, because this mountain has the best views I've ever seen, right? So I think there's a lot of disruption to come in that aspect. And also in the transportation side of things.
In the transportation?
Yeah, with all the hyperloops and autonomous cars and things like that. I think that's going to change a lot, but that can be a full panel, I guess.
A full panel. Just curiosity. And do you think a new platform is going to be around?
Yeah, I think you said something very interesting, that you spoke about millennials. But I think that we have to start thinking about the next ones, the Gen Z.
The next one?
Yeah. Because
how old are those?
The people that's up to 20 years old now, they are 1/6 of the population now, and they are completely different to us because they're born with the mobiles. They're born with these new technologies, with the internet everywhere, with all that stuff. So what we are seeing is that this kind of people processes information much faster, like 8 times faster than a lot of the other generation. So what it makes is that these people is really focus on that stuff that happens very fast. For example, these spontaneous things like Snapchat or this kind of content generator that disappears in a while, they use more that than, for example, Facebook or social. So what I think, or what it seems that it will happen is that everything that we are doing on social now, in the future, this kind of people will do it on, for example, messaging, or this kind of platforms that are more that allows a lot more of interaction. So, for example, I've read a report that said that in 2018, all that kind of messaging, for example, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, etc., will overtake all that what we are doing now on social. So I think that the next disruption that will happen, and I don't know in travel how it will be, is all about the chatbots. Chatbots and everything you can do in this kind of messaging systems will completely, I think, change the way we do things.
And I just have to advocate for the ones that are a bit older than the millennials, myself. And it's also true, I agree with you guys, that we're all obsessed with this thing of the millennials and the younger ones. But let's think about something. Humanity is getting older every year. And the older you get, the population gets bigger. So I am always telling young entrepreneurs, I say, fine, think about the young millennials and the young people, but they many times don't have that much money to spend. But the older you get, you have more money to spend. So I think there's also a huge market there that everybody's always interested in the next generations, but you also have to think of the older ones. We're still here, so.
I will be here also.
Okay. Listen, gentlemen, I'm going to leave 2 or 3 minutes to questions because I think our panelists are very interesting. So I would like you all to start thinking about a few questions to ask them that I haven't thought about. And before, I had one question which you all had sort of have answered a little bit, but I would like you to answer one quick question. When I started in the hotel business, I wanted to be a disruptor. I like being a disruptor, and I think you have to be a disruptor in any industry. And when we started doing our hotels, we were already thinking about doing the next step, the next disruption. No? So we're all talking about mobile. What happens after mobile? Is there anything after mobile? You start.
Well, my previous question, I introduced something of my thinking about that we will have only one screen in our lives. Then I don't know exactly what will be the future relating the mobile or whatever, or maybe the mix between the different device. But actually, the thing is like all the people have a mobile. The people are using right now the smartphone more than the PC, obviously. And we have to think right now in the mobile. And the thing that you have to create and disrupt, you have a lot of things to do with the mobile. Because, for example, in my industry, you can book a flight in your mobile, but you need to interact with screens or with the offline world to get your ticket or to put the luggage in the check-in. A lot of things that the people it's demanding and asking. For example, is when you arrive to Heathrow, that is a complicated airport, it's the first time you need some information and you don't have to ask to the people because you have your smartphone, you can download a guide immediately. And this is the thing that we think that for me the mobile is not the present, it's also the future because we have a lot of things to do.
We still develop.
Yeah, it's only the beginning of the thing that we are doing.
Do you think the same thing, Carlos?
Yeah, I think the era of mobile is still here and it's going to be for some time. I think it's going to keep evolving. I mean, at the end, mobile is going to be the center of let's say, all our life somehow. I mean, it's going to be the remote control of your car. It's going to be integrated in your autonomous car, and it's going to be like the central power for everything. Your mobile will be with what you interact when you're in a plane because you will see the shows there. You'll be able to call the waitress or whatever. So I think it's gonna be there, but it's gonna keep evolving as the center of everything we do.
And you, Pau?
Yeah, I think the same. It's very difficult to think after mobile what will happen, but what it's true is that every day we have faster internet connection. So internet potentially will be, information can be potentially everywhere. So the same that in the beginning in the computers we had all the programs and all the softwares, and later on they went to the cloud, and we use a lot of cloud applications now. I think that in mobile it will happen something similar. Less applications, more cloud kind of apps that are inside the mobile but actually are not in your mobile. I think something like that.
Okay, gentlemen, we will start taking sex questions for the panelists, please. It's a joke. I said sex questions.
Sex.
You just woke up now.
Not sex. Okay, there's one
you see
question
this one.
there.
There you go, two.
Very
Come
good.
on, this is warming up.
Question for you, Kike, I suppose.
No.
Hi, my question is actually for Pau. You've mentioned simplicity among one of the main features that the user appreciates when using Winabox. But you've also mentioned the mystery of, having to wait and see what comes. So among those two or others that maybe you have not mentioned, what keeps your user hooked? What keeps them coming back and really, loving you beyond the point of, I would be really upset if Winabox did not exist, which is something you mentioned the other day that your crowd actually says about you. So.
Yeah, really good question. Actually, for the product, what it's important for us is that the experience. So the adventure experience, the surprise, that's the differentiate, what we have in difference with the others, right? But when I was speaking about simplicity, I was speaking about, in general, all the products in tourism tend to simplify the chaos that we generated last years, giving too much information. So Winabox, of course, its main driver is the adventure, but we try to keep it simple. 150 euros always, as much time as we can, very simple fares, very simple booking system, everything very simple in that way.
There was another question there.
Yeah, hi. So coming back to your previous question on this sort of like what's next after like mobile, what's the next mobile and all those things, there's a trend of people saying that, interfaces are like changing a lot. You used to have a big interface in your computer, and now it's smaller in your iPhone, and it's smaller in your iWatch, and the future of interface is no interface, like sort of like Alexa from Amazon. Do you think that's a bit where we're going? And have you thought about doing things with Alexa? Do you think there's room for something there?
Well, in my opinion, the things start with things like Alexa. But obviously, and this kind of forums, you can feel it, the big companies don't move really fast with this kind of things and wait until all the people use this kind of things. This gap between the big companies that expect that all the companies use are using by the startups to create new technologies or to create this kind of thinking out of the box to create business. Then from big companies, I think that they have to wait. And for smaller companies, the people don't feel comfortable still with this kind of things. You need some figures, some big figures of usage of this kind of things to create a business model. As I told you, only 2% of the people have the wearables connected to internet. Then, if you have to create a business, starting thinking to create a business case based on a 2% of the people that use wearables connected to internet is a really bad case. Then we have to wait, in my opinion. We have to wait a few years, and the really, really big company like Amazon, as you told, or Google will tell you, will tell us the answers.
The last question.
Hello, thank you very much. It's a question for all of you. How much do you think that scarcity strategies are important to close a deal in tourism? For example, the kind of sentence about there's only 2 rooms available or only 2 seats in the flight. Come on, get them. How do you think, do you implement this kind of strategies?
Well, actually, we try to be very simple in that way, so we don't use this kind of hooks, right? But it's true that in tourism and in travel, the assets that we have are limited, and sometimes maybe I understand that there are companies that try to use that to accelerate the sales process, etc. Yeah. But we don't use that.
You?
Basically, I was going to say, Booking.com is the leader in the industry. They are the best ones A/B testing, and if they do it, it's because they've tried that it works.
Well,
you tell us.
No, on Iberexpress doesn't work because you feel this kind of things with the price. Obviously, if you can fly for 20 euros, it's a lot of space. But if you have to pay 400 euros for the same place, hurry up. Then this is a flexible price model that don't need this kind of hurry up. It's only 2 places. You have to pay 1,000 euros for the same plane. This is the situation.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you, these fantastic panelists and their fantastic company.
Thank you.